So right now I'm looking at the projects that I'm working on right now. There are three clusters of websites: tealstripesvibes.com, boon.land, bane.land, and bone.land, and then factshift.com. Generally speaking, they're centered around ideological representation, different ways that you can represent how ideas exist across contexts. The Boon Bane Bone Land project is meant to be more illustrative, meant to represent things less literally. Factshift.com is meant to be a bit more precise, a bit more descriptive than illustrative. And then tealstripesvibes.com just represents a brand that ties these two projects together. In general, I like to keep them on the same page because I want to make sure that as I'm working on the business elements and the technology elements, I know kind of roughly where they are in relation to each other. So if I need to do something for one brand, I want to make sure that I do it for the others as well. So right now I'm thinking about the websites, and I have this color that I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to use. We'll see. But I'm going to use this as the fav icon to start with because I don't really want to get into the specifics of branding quite yet, but it would be helpful to have a placeholder. And so these are the colors that I'm going to use to represent these projects. And I know that if I'm on the teal page, I'm looking at tealstripesvibes.com. If I'm on the, is this mustard? I'm not sure what that would be called. Mustard Dijon page, then I'm looking at that one. And then if I'm on this light gray page, then I'm looking at factshift.com. Factshift.com has pink as the text, factshift, because that's the color that I started with. But I thought about it, and I don't know if I want factshift to be that strong. Well, I don't want it to be too suggestive of anything. And I think the gray is less symbolic. I'm not sure if that's the right word to say. It symbolizes neutrality. I guess that's the way to say it. I want to maintain ground. I don't want to accelerate the wrong things. And while I have my own perspective on the world, I don't know if it's fully informed. I couldn't say. I want to make sure that I have a team that can point out different ways that people relate to the world before I put myself into that. And actually, generally speaking, I want to make sure that I'm clear who I am and what I'm trying to do. So if it's ever showing up in my work, people can say, oh, that is for me or that's not for me. So that's basically where I am now. I'm going to switch gears and look a little bit more into the front end of these sites. And that's the reason that I'm working on the front end right now, not specifically the back end, is because I want to describe this idea to people so they can see how it's supposed to work and also start looking at what they click on. The initial data or the initial launch isn't going to be real, I think. I think that it's going to be more of a demo, and gradually I'm going to add features. Now, I need to figure out a way to fund these projects, and so I'm going to continue making videos about just this entire thing. You can see how I'm going through it. I'm not going to start off by making this a story. I'm going to keep track of the things that I'm thinking about, what's on my mind, etc. In the meantime, I'm going to be looking for work. I need a job to fund these projects, but in a few years' time, maybe I'm going to be doing this full time. So yeah, stay posted, or stay tuned, I should say.